So now I'm just going to start array, and okay, so now for array, let me just discuss first of all what is array, then we will go to the programs. So when we are talking about the concept of array, array is basically a collection of elements, of similar type elements. Array is a collection of similar elements, similar data type elements. Array is a collection of similar data type elements. This is the definition. And when we are talking about array, there are basically two types of array. The first one is single dimensional array, and another one is the double dimensional array. So we have single dimensional and double dimensional. So the single dimensional array means the linear array. That is, if we are having, suppose how to declare, that is the declaration of single dimensional array. If we are going to declare, so we take, suppose we are taking int a of 5. That means we are going to take 5 elements in one array. Like one variable will be used to define 5 elements. So like for different values, we usually take different variables, but here what is happening, 5 different values are associated to one variable only, that is a. If we want to initialize it, so initialization is done, or the initialization of array is done in this way. So now what I have done, I have initialized the array. So the initialization of array is done in this way. And the memory representation, that is that how the array is stored into the memory, that I am going to tell. So basically the array is stored in the memory, as we are having multiple values for the single name. So this way, 1 2 3 4 5, we have taken 5 elements now. So what is happening here, first is the a of 0. Always when we are talking about array, always the first index starts from 0th position. A of 0, a of 1, a of 2, this is a of 3, and the last one is a of 4. The last element of the array is always size minus 1. So the size was 5 elements, and the last element, you can see, it is size minus 1. Always the last element is size minus 1. And the values as we have taken, there are 12, 33, then we took 4, then we have taken 56. Okay, sorry, 12, then 33, then we have taken 4, then we have taken 56, then we have taken 7. So these were the values which we have taken. So if we are having such values, then it is the memory, it is represented, it is stored like this. And always the array is always started from the 0th index. So you can see that a of 0 is the first index, and a of 4 is the last, that is having the value 7 according to the initialization which we have done. Now when we are talking about a double dimensional array, they are basically the matrix. So when we are talking about matrix is basically the combination of rows and columns. When we are talking about matrix is a combination of rows and columns. Like this could be a matrix, and there are rows. Like here I am having, okay, suppose there are 2 rows and 2 columns. So basically the horizontal is row is horizontal, and the columns are vertical, columns are vertical in nature. So basically this is the 0th row and 0th column, this is 0th row and first column, and this is let me come there, this is first row and 0th column, and this is first row and first column, right? So this way basically we represent the matrix in the matrix format, that is the combination of row and column. Now when we are talking about array, like we are talking about double dimensional array, two dimensional array we call, so that is matrix. So we take, suppose we are taking a of 2 by 2, like we are having two rows and two columns. So this is basically the declaration. If we want to declare declaration of a two dimensional array, and initialization, I am going to take initialization. So int a of 2 by 2 we were having, and now when we have to initialize, we have to give the rows and columns, like I am taking 1 comma 2 and 2 comma 3. So these are the values basically. 1 comma 2 is the value for the first row, and 2 comma 3 is basically the value of the second row. So this way we can initialize. In the case of memory representation, the values are stored in the linear way only, like in the single row only the values are stored. But when we print it, when we represent it, we print it in the matrix format, that is the tabular format which I have drawn. This way we will print it, but in the memory it is stored in linear array only, just like the single dimensional array. So now I am coming back to the program, and here I am just going to start the program of for the single dimensional array. One program I will tell today on single dimensional array, only single program. Okay. So basically, suppose we want to take input also. So I'm taking import java.util.scanner. Suppose my question is write a program to input an array and print it. Okay. The question is write a program to input an array and print it. Okay. This is the question. Now I am taking a class as we have taken array one. Then we will take our public static void main. That we will create the object of scanner class. Okay, after that, if we are having single dimensional array, say of 5 elements, so now as an array is having multiple elements for the single variable, so we need a loop to scan those multiple values. So I have taken I here, I have taken an I here, and this I am taking for loop, to run the loop, and A is our array. So it's again, yes, it's again giving an error. Of course it will give. So when we have to create an array, we basically have to do what, like this. We have to create the array. This is the way of creating array, and now I'm taking I for the loop. So this way we create an array. The name of the array, the values which we want, the integer type array I'm creating of 5 elements, and this is the name. So now I'm taking system.out, system.print ln. I'm taking an array, suppose. So now this time, because we are going to enter an array, so we need to use a loop for I equals to 0, because always when we are working with array, we have to initialize the first index to 0 and less than 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. There would be 5 elements, 0 to 4. Less than 5 means 0 to 4. And then I plus plus. After that, we will just scan a of I. A of I equals to ob dot next int, because we are taking integer only, but it will store in A according to the value, according to the positions scanned with the help of I. So the first part of the question is completed. Like the first part was input an array. So input is done. Now we have to print it. So whenever we are using the array, we always we have to use a loop again and again. So when how many times we are using, it is going to be used. So I'm taking a message here array, and after that I'm going to print it. Now for printing also we have to use the loop, because we have to access the same elements. Print, and I'm taking a of I because I'm going to print it now. A of I is having the values basically, and slash t I'm taking it here I'm taking /t. So this is done now. Yes, this is complete. We have input the array first of all, and then we are going to print it. So there is no compilation error, and now I'm just going to run it. So it is asking to enter the values, enter the array. So I'm taking, you can see it has taken 5 elements, and now it will print it. So you can see our array is printed now.